evening from all of us here at Channel 4 News. I'm your anchor, Amy Cardron.
My name's Amy LaRochelle. Good evening.
Good evening. Our top story tonight actually comes from my co-anchor, Amy LaRochelle. Amy, you spent some time in a local college.
Yeah, it was at Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, and I took a course on communications, interpersonal communications. So, you know, it was a really interesting class, especially lecture number 9 was great. That was on interpersonal relationships. And you know, I think that's a topic that a lot of people have trouble understanding. So
I know I do.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people have trouble with that. So I thought that it was really great. You know, everybody these days seems to think that they're best friends with everybody. However, that's not the case. No, not at all. You know, isn't that annoying when somebody thinks they're your best friend and you're like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't even like you. So, you know, you have relationships of circumstance and you have relationships of choice. And that was something that we learned about in this class that I thought was really helpful, you know, because you have people that come through your life and sometimes they'll drop you for no reason and it can be really, really frustrating.
Okay, I was dropped as a child actually.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Okay, we'll carry on.
Yeah.
So what did you take away from this class?
Well, you know, learning about things like that and learning about conflict really helped me with that class. You know, I learned that those people that are in my life as relationships of circumstance, really I shouldn't care about what they have to think at all.
So you mean the people that just kind of come and go into your life?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't really take it at face value if they leave.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, also dealing with conflict I learned about in that class, and that really helped me a lot because, you know, a lot of times if those people have nothing to do with you, why would it bother you? You're not really in conflict with somebody if they owe you nothing.
It's true. Maybe the conflict in the Middle East would be resolved if they took this class.
Maybe. That would actually help a lot.
Another top story, Hurricane Katrina continues to ravage the Gulf Coast, as you can see here. It's presumed to be a Category 5 hurricane when it lands in New Orleans.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty terrifying.
They're calling it the hurricane of the century.
I would not want to be there at this point in time.
I hope people actually evacuate as planned.
Yes, before it's too late. It could be a lot of flooding.
It could be, yes. They're worried about the levees.
Oh, yes,
So
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I hope that, you know, people take the evacuation warnings seriously.
Yes, you know, people, if you're listening, it's actually a really serious storm coming your way. This is not to be taken like a joke.
You know, I think the people of New Orleans could probably benefit from this class too, seeing as it was based on communications. What did you have to do in this class?
You know, we did a lot of things. I really liked the way the professor presented the material, but one of my favorite things were the videos that we made. We had about 4 videos that we had to put together and present to the professor. And you know, they were a whole lot of fun, but it was also a really good way for the students to understand the material rather than just, you know, writing it down. I think that if I just had to write every week, I wouldn't have been able to get my point across in the same way.
It is tough to write.
It can be really difficult sometimes, and this is a much better way, I think. By doing the videos, you could just explain yourself, and I had a lot of fun with that. That was my favorite part of the class.
I feel as though video would probably enable you to see the person better than just writing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I definitely think it was a good way for the professor to get to know her students outside of the classroom.
And it certainly helps when you have people that help you along.
Yes.
You know, again, with the communication.
Yeah, you know, it really helped. I was very lucky that I had a kick-ass best friend to help me through this class with the videos. You know, it made that much of a difference for me.
Certainly not a friendship of circumstance.
No, definitely not. Definitely a friendship of choice with this one.
And this story from England, Queen Elizabeth herself will be visiting Washington this coming week, where it's expected that she'll tell President Obama to go screw.
Yes. Oh. Alright, back to my communications class. You know, I really think that the class benefited from the way that the professor put the material across. You know, she gave us weekly lectures, but the reading material she gave us really wasn't overbearing at all. You know, it was very manageable compared to some of the other classes that I took while I was there. And you know, the professor really seemed to understand that we as students have a whole lot going on. And you know, she didn't just talk at us. and just go through PowerPoints all lecture. That would have been very boring. You know, I really think that I benefited a lot from the way that she presented the material.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was feeling a little hoarse.
Oh, that's quite all right. In other news, we have a giant fish, as you can see. It's been caught in Southbridge, Mass.
The size of that.
That is
enormous.
ridiculous.
That's some good eating.
That's a big one.
That is. It's also, it almost looks like a blue one.
Yes, you know, it's a blue one. It's a blue big one. Big blue one.
It looks to me as though it's a catfish, which typically catfish, they really grow bigger in the south. So to find one up here is
up in
bizarre.
the East Coast, that's very odd. I wonder if it got into the Charles somehow. You know, that dirty water.
Maybe. You know, it's just, who knows?
But you know, that family's gonna be eating good for sure.
For many months.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So speaking of fishing, do you feel as though the professor was kind of fishing for compliments having you come into her class like this?
You know, I really don't think so. I think that she put the class together really well, but you know, something that I think she really could have improved on is the way that she gave the exams to the class. You know, our first exam was a paper pencil exam. I mean, it went well, I did well. But the rest of the exams were done online, which I think was something that she should do more often. You know, a lot of times in her exams, there was a lot to write about, and it was a lot less stressful when you did it online. I felt like I wasn't going to run out of room, and I could really get my point across better. So, you know, if she were to teach this class in the future, I would suggest doing all your exams online like that.
Sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yes.
And rounding out our stories for the night, a new study suggesting that flossing actually extends your life. And as you can see, my co-anchor here is avid flosser.
Yes.
You have actually lived almost 21 years. Have you always flossed?
You know, every day.
Every day.
Every day. And you know, I think it's really, especially with this new study coming out from Harvard, I'm looking forward to a long, healthy life like that.
Don't doubt you one bit.
Yeah.
That's just fantastic. Well, that about does it for us tonight here at Channel 4 News. Thank you so much for joining. Again, I'm Amy Cardrent.
And I'm Amy LaRochelle.
And don't just have a good night, have an American night.
America! From all of us at Channel 4 News, I'm Amy LaRochelle, and this is my co-anchor, Tits McGee.
I'm Amy Cardrent. Tits McGee is on assignment in the Middle East. You were in the community at what is it? Massachusetts
College of Pharmacy and Health
Okay.
Sciences.
All right.
That's very attractive, Amy. Well, this is shitty.